All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So I already recorded this video yesterday, but unfortunately, Loom screwed up the download, and it's in the infinite uploading phase. If you know what that is, pretty much it just failed to upload, so I have to re-record it. So that's quite unfortunate, but it's just a few minutes. Anyway, basically all I said and talked about was actually this. No new updates on the business. Just studied a week. The exam is on the 14th on Wednesday, so I'm going to be free soon again for at least some time. But yeah, I've just been doing nothing business-wise. Okay, so there's nothing new on that end. But I did learn some valuable lessons, which I did explain in the other video, so I'm going to do so as well right now. So it regards productivity. So there are 3 things in total that I've been recently learning, and there's a bunch of other things, but this is kind of like the summary. So the first thing is you have to remove all distractions. I've realized that even if it's just a little bit, even if it's an app on your phone like Instagram, you have to get rid of it, because temptations work in a way where if there's a way to be tempted, then you're just gonna fall, right? If you're in a room full of smoke, for 24 hours or 7, like eventually you're gonna fall, right? If you have sugar at home, you're gonna eventually eat it. No matter how much you last, you will fall, because that's just the nature of man, and it cannot be changed. It can either be switched, which means instead of, for example, eating sugar, you eat a healthy protein bar, So with temptations and these kind of like needs that we have, it's good to switch them with a more healthier option, right? That's one way you can get rid of it, or you can just literally completely get rid of the temptation itself. So I think those are the 2 ways you can kind of counter that. And that brings me back to the distractions, right? So you delete all apps, block any websites. I use System, and it's called an app called Tech Lockdown. They will work absolutely amazing. I have YouTube blocked, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I think Netflix and all these movie sites as well, just because, even free movie streaming websites, just because, like, even if there's a little bit of a chance that you will, just take a peek and then just waste a bunch of time, then you just have to get rid of it. And that's, I think, what I've learned, which is a very brutal truth, by the way. Maybe if I develop a better will when I'm older, maybe it'll be, like, not as difficult. But I think right now, when there's just so much stuff happening on the internet, like there's pop-ups, there's ads, there's reels, there's scrolling. It's just really easy to get distracted, and you have to minimize it really to get your focus in. So that's the first thing I recommend. Second thing is, remove distractions. I completely forgot what the other advice or point of lesson I gave. Let me think for a second here, guys. Well, I think it was, I'm not really sure actually. What was it? It was remove distractions. There was one more thing. Oh yeah. So the second thing is, it's just gonna suck, right? In terms of productivity and getting hard stuff done, like the gym, it's just gonna be a little difficult. Not too difficult, but it will suck. You will feel pain, you will want to rest, lie down, and stuff like that. You have to push through. So what I recommend you do is, if you want to take my advice, you don't need to. This is just what I learned myself. Make a task list on Google Calendar every single day, complete it, and then do whatever, okay? Which brings me to my third point, and that means you have to have some kind of rest, some kind of, how would you say it? I can't think of the word right now. Decompression mechanism, right? For me, it's watching a TV series, for example, right? So what a good indicator is, or not a good indicator, but a good way to kind of using these things is basically, if you want to chill out, right, because you did the work, which from second point should be obvious, right? You have your to-do list, then you can relax, right? Right now, so I finished studying, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm just gonna do nothing work related or school related until I go to bed, which is like 10:30, and until then I just do whatever, right? So it's like a reward mechanism, and it helps me stay focused, because if I just was trying to be perfect all of the time, I've again realized that eventually I just burn and crash, right? So this is something I've been doing it's working quite well. I mean, on some days I spend maybe a little too much on watching a TV series, right? So like staying up until 2, 3 a.m. maybe, but only a few times, right? But I think it's still better than get distracted in the middle of the day. So I wouldn't take this third lesson that I gave you for granted because I'm still experimenting with it. Maybe you don't need to chill out. Maybe I'm just making an excuse. I don't know, but I feel like this is the best, I guess, tactic I've come up with so far, and it works okay. It's just a little unreliable because sometimes I just get so sucked into the story that I just end up watching for a very long time and then losing my sleep, right? Which is not good. So I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe gaining a little bit more willpower and telling myself like, hey, you can finish watching this tomorrow could work. I'm not really sure. Perhaps this is just contradicting the first rule I just gave, which is remove all distractions, but I don't really know. Because I've always found that if I completely try to remove it, then I just hate life, right? Like there's nothing that gives me any piece of actual real pleasure. I mean, I like working, of course, but when I pair that with school, that's when I feel like total crap, right? Because most of the time I have to be doing things I don't want to do, right? And when I have no joy from it, no purpose, that's when I tend to fail, you know? So that's what I recommend you guys. I hope you found this helpful. This video was actually twice as long as the other one, so I'm glad I recorded it today, actually. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.